This is Matt, and I am James. We are here to talk to you about teaching abroad. You've probably seen Teaching English in Asia advertisements a lot. Has anybody actually gone to these websites, read anything about them? Anybody? Never thought about it? You should check it out sometime. All you'll probably see is about 2 paragraphs of text, maybe a couple pictures, telling you about a school and say, do you want to sign up? And a lot of the times that will suffice for people who are interested. It sufficed for myself, it sufficed for Matt, because usually the people that go abroad are just those that want an adventure and will go out there and do it no matter the lack of information. And the problem with that is it passes over the opportunity for a lot of really qualified teachers that would find the schools that we're going to show you in a second to be very rewarding opportunities.
Yeah. So I'm going to just share, I know we have a short period of time, so I'll tell you how I got to teach abroad. I graduated from Penn State in 2009, really wanted to teach, thought I wanted to go to law school. Went to a teacher college in Radnor, Pennsylvania called Cabrini College. Finished, had a wonderful experience teaching, student teaching in high school, like many of you are probably doing right now. And I wanted a job. I wanted a really good teaching job. My principal said, I have nothing here for you. I'm not going to have anything here for you in a long time. So I looked at that as an opportunity to really search and find something. And I always wanted to live abroad, and I love to teach, so it was a perfect match. Korea presented the best opportunities, as well as China, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. So James is going to talk to you about some of our missions.
Yeah. So as I said, one of the things that prevents a lot of people like you, going to be very qualified candidates from going abroad, one of those things is kind of fear of the unknown. And the reason for that is just recruiters generally don't need to provide much information to get anybody who wants to go abroad. And that's kind of the education scene at a lot of Asian schools, and that's just not good enough anymore. Lots of Asian schools, international schools, private schools, they want better teachers from America teaching their children. And I owned a school in Seoul for 2.5 years, worked at the school, ran it with my friend, and I spoke to lots of mothers, and that's just the case. That was in Seoul, by the way. And so we work in China and Korea, and these schools, they would love to have people like you, to be very, very blunt. Trained, energetic, personable, hopefully, friendly. And we think that the only thing that really you need to do, or that you need to kind of even consider this seriously, is just more information. So that's what we do. We work very closely with about 5 schools, 4 in Korea, one in China. We're going to have about 5 more by the end of the year. And all of these schools we've gone to personally. We've spoken to teachers there directly. We've taken videos of these interviews with the supervisors, with the teachers, asked about the neighborhood, asked about the contract, asked about the teaching, salary, benefits, health insurance, vacations, housing, anything that you would want to know. We have it on our website in the school profiles.
Sure.
So
we're very selective with who we work with. We don't work with anybody like most recruiters, just trying to place any Westerners.
There's lots of bad schools.
Yeah, we're not like that.
But there's lots of very good schools too.
And we focus on the good ones, and we screen and talk to foreign teachers and say, how was your experience at this school? And we tell the staff and the administration, we need to talk to the foreign teachers at the school right now to prove that it's reputable and it's a good school to work at.
And this is normally about a 25-minute presentation, so we're going to cut out a lot of this. But if you actually wanted to look at some of these school profiles, go to the website. We're called Truth Teacher Services. You can sign up right here afterwards, and we're going to send you a follow-up email, talk to you if you'd like. TruthTeacherServices.com. You can check out some videos of these schools. Let's not show them. Honestly, it's going to take some time.
You can look at the videos of the supervisors, the current teachers, and see photos and read all about the schools.
Yeah.
Okay.
And our second.
On to our second mission, guys. Very simply, better teachers. James and I always say, and a lot of research we've done, we say it's half and half. Half really quality candidates that come out, love kids, do a great job, they're wonderful teachers. The parents love them, the kids love them, the staff loves them, and they do a wonderful job. On the other hand, you have teachers that come over, they just kind of want to just travel, and they're not focused. They're like, oh, I'm really supposed to be teaching? Yes, that is why you came over, okay? And we want you to enjoy traveling and have a wonderful experience, but we're really trying to meet and offer opportunities to wonderful teachers such as yourself that love the art of teaching.
And the 2 things that we're going to do for you while you're abroad, which we think is really going to make the experience worthwhile, is address the other concern that people who are trying to be educators have when they're thinking about going abroad, which is, first of all, it's scary, and that's why we're putting out all this information. But second of all, it's scary in the professional sense of maybe I have a year abroad that I come back to Pennsylvania and I go to a district school and they say, you know what, you were teaching abroad, you weren't using any of the standards we have. I've heard about teaching abroad. It's probably not very rigorous. It is. You will be using a lot of the standards that you would want, that the school district you're applying to would want to see. And that's why during the year abroad we're going to have a professional development program, which is going to be focused on guiding you in the creation of your online portfolio. Sounds like you were just talking about that right before class.
Yes. And I'll cut in because with my experiences in secondary education, it's very simple. If you want to make your experience worthwhile while abroad and come back
on your resume specifically,
and say to a principal when you're interviewing for a job after you're abroad, and say, listen, when they say, oh, so you're abroad teaching in Korea or China, you say yes, and they say, well, how was that experience? You say, well, it's wonderful, and this is what I did to make that experience even more worthwhile. And you show them your Weebly portfolio, because we use American textbooks in these English academies in Korea, and sometimes even British textbooks, but mostly English. And you can create lesson plans that correlate to Pennsylvania state standards of teaching, which you're creating lesson plans right now, I imagine. I did the same thing. That must correlate to state standards. So it's optional. You can create these portfolios via Weebly. You could do it once a week. You could do it once a month. It's entirely up to you. You don't have to do it, but it's to support your to basically beef up your resume and your experience abroad. So they look at it as, wow, you did something pretty well that was worthwhile.
And the second part of that development program is outside of the classroom, personal development. We know lots of teachers. We met on a baseball team. All the other players on the team are teachers. And the teachers that have the best experience, that end up going home saying, wow, that was amazing, they impress people when they come back, are the teachers that are constantly striving to achieve goals outside of the classroom. So for all the teachers that go abroad through us, we're going to be having a goals program to identify some things that you'd like to do. There's any number of things that I've done, Matt's done, our friends have done, that would be kind of could be a starting point for a lot of people that go abroad, learning a language, learning Taekwondo, learning how to cook,
We're on a
learning how to
baseball
dance,
team together,
playing a sport.
James
anything
can't really
like-
dance though. So
Yeah, not gonna show it off. I actually would in the 25-minute presentation. And yeah, so that was the fastest one that we've done. I think we should stop it there because honestly, it's a short one. So.
I know some of you have to leave, and
If
I
you
will
gotta go,
respect
you
you
go.
if you have to go. But we just wanted to offer any questions that you have right now. We'd like a short Q&A. And if you're interested, you can very well sign up. It's completely non-committal. If you sign up, we will connect with you directly and speak with you directly. We're not going to blast emails at you. We don't do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you express interest, that's great. If not, no problem.
And if they need to think about it and get it, I have your email.
Absolutely. And
website.
I have a card for you too as well.
You could go through that. You could go through that way, or just sign up on the website. Either way, we get notified.
Exactly.
I have 2 students that went to Korea in the last couple of years, and they really enjoyed the experience. They were both social studies and ended up teaching English.
Same with me.
You would most likely have English class duties, but at many of the schools that your kind of quality of teacher would be teaching, you would also have an area of specialty.
I need help to get housing.
School guaranteed. School provides housing for 12 months. Free housing, free round trip airfare
And it's a
to
1-year
and from.
contract.
And you actually make a
contract.
significant amount of money while you're over there. A lot of people go to actually pay off student loans.
That's why we like to have Q&A, because we would talk about salary, vacation, 2 weeks of paid vacation, 15 to 20 paid days of national holidays, which it's kind of like 2 other mini vacations, because some of those national holidays are together.
Yeah.
So you have like 4 times if you want to travel to another country, go on a trip. A lot of people say, well, just 2 weeks of paid vacation, I'm a teacher. Come on, I need 3 months. But it's like any other job. If you work outside of teaching, you have 2 weeks. That's
And let's
it.
be honest, you get bored doing this.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions that you'd like us to focus
Please
on?
fire away if you have questions. You
Did
missed?
you say that you owned a school there?
Yeah.
Yes. Not I. He.
Okay.
I decided, what the heck, I want to teach on my own terms. So bought a school, started it up, moved a couple times, got bigger. Just sold it at a loss.
Like your honesty.
Do we need to know Korean?
No.
Great question. Absolutely not.
You should have answered in Korean.
Yeah. 아니요. 조금만 괜찮아요.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've taken no formal classes, but
Can you tell?
I'm a perceptive person, and I can via context I can pick up, and I've been there for a couple of years. James actually, he really tried hard and studied hard, and his skills are a little bit better than mine. But anyway, you don't. It's a very English friendly city. If you try to speak just the slightest amount of Korean, they're so impressed, and
Yeah.
and it's such a friend.
English, right?
Oh, I mean, they're dying. They spend more per capita than any people on education in general, but definitely on English education. They're dying to speak English to you. They will come up to you any place you are. They being anybody in Korea will come up to you and just start saying anything that they can that they just learned about. I don't know, how's the weather? Where are you from? Constantly. So.
Yes.
How's like transportation?
Amazing.
It is second best and some of you would be very surprised to hear. Second best transportation in the world.
We're talking about Seoul
subway.
mainly, by the way.
In Seoul, which are the 4 schools we work with in Korea at the moment. Best transportation system.
It's amazing. So nice.
Second best behind Hong
So
Kong.
nice.
I've never seen such a clean subway system.
Cheap,
Such a fast
clean,
subway
amazing,
system.
yeah.
It's everywhere. Everyone takes the buses because they're so clean. Bus drivers are wearing shirt and tie every day, and so happy to pick you up, and it's really affordable, very reasonable. It's really, really nice. Taxis too. Taxis are really.
Let's just burn through these questions because I don't want.
Where in China are you located?
Right now we have one school in Shanghai, one school in Guangdong, which is in Guangzhou. They're both in the south, kind of. But we're going to be expanding in China. That's our big goal. We want 5 schools in China by the end of the year. So everything that I'm telling you now will probably not be, everything that you're going to see on the website in the next few months. Yeah. You're going to see tons of information on the school. So,
Yes.
yeah.
And then the housing, they provide it for you, but how far is it from the school?
Usually anywhere from 2 to 10 minute walk from
Yeah.
the school.
Yeah. I mean, they want you to be close to the school. Like,
Very
it's in their best interest.
Honestly, it's full. We know one foreigner in Korea. We think it's kind of funny that actually has a car. He's been living there for 3 years and he has a car. Like, why do you have a car? The transportation is so perfect. It's like, I just really like having a car.
You can also
He's from,
choose, if you're a
England.
savvy foreigner in these places, savvy expat, you could actually choose where you wanted to live and tell the school, hey, hold off on that housing, just give me the money. I'm going to arrive, spend a week looking around, get my own housing with the money that you give me.
Yeah.
If you want.
Which is something that
I do not recommend that for anybody that does not know the city.
Yeah.
Matt, you go for it.
Yep.
Are there specific start and end dates?
I can answer it in the beginning. For example, the biggest intake, the Korean semester starts from March and it ends in March. Now in China, it's very synonymous to the American academic calendar, from the beginning of fall to the end of, not end of summer, but
Beginning of summer then.
fall to summer. So
Teachers are needed year-round because a lot of the schools are private schools, and by private schools I don't mean traditional curriculum-based system, but I mean after-school academies.
yeah.
But some of them are traditional schools that are private that do have curriculums that end at certain times. Basically, summertime, wintertime, and generally sprinkled throughout the year.
Yeah. So Korea, to be more specific, usually the biggest intake of teachers is from March to March because that's the beginning of their school year.
Yeah.
And then sometimes there's emergencies where a teacher needs to go home for a family emergency or gets really sick, rarely, and needs to come home. So then they need a teacher to fill a position. So sometimes there actually pretty often, right, James? There be opportunities each month to find a position for you if you're interested.
Right here, because I don't want to keep you too long.
Okay, so I'm a math guy. So what's the typical salary?
Okay.
If you're a math guy, you'd probably be teaching at one of the private schools, like one of the foreign language high schools, in which even if you're a math guy, you'd be teaching probably 1 or 2 English classes regardless.
Are you saying
just because you're a trained
specifically?
teacher. But I'm thinking like Gyeonggi Academy would be the type of school that he'd be aiming for, which means your salary would be in the range of 2,500 to 3,000 per month. That's not including the housing that they've already paid for. They also give you a bonus month of salary at the end of the contract, at the end of 12 months. They also give you half a month's bonus salary as part of a pension payment. You don't pay any taxes.
Yeah.
It's nice.
If you really wanted to teach your focus within education, for example, if you're social studies, I was social studies, so I taught geography I taught kindergartners. I was secondary, but I took the first opportunity I had in Seoul and taught kindergartners. Actually fell in love with them. My next contract, I took another opportunity teaching young ones. And I love social studies, so at that academy that I worked at, who we work with, their name is Jess Island, you can see them on our website. They have after-school rotation class. I'm sorry, they have after-lunch rotation classes. So lunch, then recess for the kids, and then they teach rotation classes. One teacher math, one teacher science, one teacher I taught geography, art, music. So there is opportunity to teach other subjects and not just English, grammar, just grammar, writing, reading. There are more opportunities to teach other focuses. Any more questions?
Fire those off real quick. So.
Yeah. If you guys don't have any more questions, I'd like to talk about one more thing. This is a big thing I really want you to understand, because a lot of people need to be educated about this. I won't go. James sometimes holds me back because I go really deep into it. But I'd like to talk about the safety in South Korea. South Korea is one of the most safest countries in the world. Everybody in America and in the West think, what about crazy North Korea above? Okay? Think about the fact that, for example, like Dennis Rodman has been there twice this year, visiting. Like
He's visiting on your behalf.
Like it's no big deal. If they really hated Americans in the North, which the South, they love Americans. If they hated Americans in the North, they wouldn't be letting Americans into the country and shaking their hands and patting them on the back, such as Dennis Rodman. Also, to be even more serious,
I'm sensing unfounded political science statements here.
To be even more specific, though, I mean, there's no guns are illegal, drugs are illegal.
It's a safe place, super safe. Probably safest place I've ever seen in my
Physical
life.
violence is considered extremely immoral.
It's a
You're
cultural
very
thing, yeah.
callous, and you're a very immoral and low person if you engage in that type of behavior.
Very true.
So you rarely see it. You see young girls out late at night by themselves with no issues whatsoever. So it's very safe, very safe place. Yeah. So
That's all done.
Okay.
Honestly, if you're even vaguely interested, go ahead and put your email here.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
We're not going to contact you with crazy emails.
Yeah.
We'll just call you.
Thank you so much for your
Thank
time,
you very
guys.
much.
Best of luck with student teaching.